Hi, so this is a video to make sure that you are off to a great start for term 3. The first thing we have is actually from Antigone, and this is your final assessment. It is a short writing piece of just 2 paragraphs. Really, it is an open response on MCAS, and so this is a great practice for that, as long as it's multi-paragraphs, and the paragraphs each contain at least one quote with 3 to 4 sentences of reasoning. That's exactly what you need to do on MCAS about 3 to 4 times using reading passages that they give you. So this document is already linked into Google Classroom. So if I go to my Google Classroom, again, I'm looking at the classwork tab up at the top, and I'm going to scroll down until I see the Antigone Essay. And this is really everything that you need. A lot of people have already started turning this in. This was due the 4th, which was last Friday. There is a thesis statement guide, and there is the same document that I just showed you with all of the essay options. And then there's a Google Doc, a blank Google Doc for you to write yours on and then submit in this post. So again, 2 paragraphs. I do give you 5 different options. The first one is, who is the tragic hero? Is it Creon or Antigone? You have to use the Greek words that we learned right here. And I explain those words in case you've forgotten. They are also on page 37 in your notebook. But if you don't have your notebook at home, I have included a description in the option. And then option 2 is really taking a look at your power graph scene from scene 2 and continuing with that. The first paragraph is really an examination of that graph again. And then the second paragraph, you're going to talk about who has the power overall. And ultimately, you need to know the ending and specifically what happens to Antigone if you believe that that is a sign of her power, lasting power, or if Creon has that lasting power, and then why. And then the other 3 options are less structured. So if you would like just the structure of having questions right here for options 1 and 2, and if you answer those questions, pretty much your paragraphs will be developed. Options 3, 4, and 5 are less structured, but they contain the same criteria. So 1 paragraph per quote, 3 to 4 sentences of reasoning, and returning to the reasoning guide, I think on page 24 in your notebook, is also a good move, and I will include that as well in the assignment on Google Classroom. So that is 100 points on term 3, and it's super important that you do that before we move on any further with our new text, and then you forget what has happened. We started our new text last Friday, the 4th, and we're doing an activity that I will have a makeup activity on Google Classroom for. The activity is looking at images and analyzing the images, and then trying to figure out what are some universal ideas from those images, and then predicting how that might play out in our new text called Fences. We are going to start moving into some reading work, though, with Fences. I will include a copy of it online in case you're at home. Many students have requested a paper copy so that they can annotate, but I will include one for you. And then any handouts, like this is our first handout for Fences. It is a character chart where you are tasked with finding evidence for each character. So there are 3 main characters. There's Troy, there's Rose, his wife, and their son, Corey. So really it's 4 different quotes per character. It is what people say about Rose. We need 2 quotes with reasoning. What does this tell us about Rose, including a universal idea? And then what Rose says about herself. Same thing. 2 quotes, reasoning with a universal idea. So this is work that will be due in a couple of weeks, and if you're at home, you want to jump into the reading and start doing this. We also have a vocabulary list that we need to work on. The vocabulary list is 38 words, and I have included our Quizlet. The expectation is that you do go in and you're working on, I like these three at the bottom in case you haven't used Quizlet before. They give you a test option, they give you like matching, and then an activity called Gravity that I think is pretty interesting, and all are really great ways to digitally work on our vocabulary, whether or not you're at home or in person. Please do the Quizlet, and I have created an assignment for this. Oops, hold on. So here, real quick, is the gravity option. So I want to study all words. I want to answer with a definition, and I have medium difficulty, so I click Let's Go, and I'm going to start the game. And I want to quickly write the definition for the word that I see falling in the yellow box. I'm going to just do that to see if I get it right. And then the next word will come up. So here, amount less than desired, okay, is the exact. So anyway, this is a really great way to practice your words. The expectation is that you will know the 38 words on a quiz coming up in a couple of weeks, and that you also know well enough the words to use them in our discussion and in your writing. That is included in this post on Google Classroom. I've also included the vocabulary squares or pictures with the definition. So this is another great way to either, if you're in class, you can get a paper copy of this. You can make your own flashcards. I'll also make these flashcards available in class. If you want them, you can cut them up and use them as flashcards. So those are our two main pieces of work happening, and then a lot of what we're doing in class is reading aloud and working on character quotes. And so if you are out that character quote chart, this one right here, I will post it on Google Classroom. This is very important. The final announcement is if you failed with term one, back to term one, with a lower than a 60% or 59 and lower, then you are eligible for the recovery work in all of your classes. It's right here, the Term 1 recovery plan. This is due the 18th. That's if you're eligible, and then it would go up to a 60 for your grade, okay? So look, let's start term 3. We need to make sure that even if we're at home, we are still working because those grades are coming in, and term 3 will be midterm before you know it. We only have less than 30, I would say about 28 at this point, days left until MCAS. And so when we get back from February break, we are still continuing with our play, Fences, but we are going to have a certain number of days per week dedicated to MCAS prep. And so again, super important that even if you're at home, you are studying and getting ready using those assignments as a strategy to prepare. And then finally, grade 2 is term 2 is finished. So contact me if you have concerns about that. All right, have a great day.